Hey guys, it's me, Bongiorno. I'm coming at you with a Bleach Cero gameplay as a holo, because I want to talk about holo progression. I'm going to make this into kind of a guide, and hopefully the guide will help people progress a little bit easier as holos. Some of the stuff I'm going to talk about might help you out, so let's get right into it. The first thing I want to get into is killing things efficiently. The faster you kill stuff, the less time it's going to take you to evolve. So I want to do a little combo here just to show it off. The M2 into M1 is going to be the fastest way to dispatch a holo. So yeah, just remember to always utilize that if you want to kill things fast, which I don't know why you wouldn't want to kill things fast, but anyways, the next thing I want to talk about is tap eating. Tap eating is a technique from Primera that holos use to eat really fast. It's been kind of nerfed in this game, but it's still better than just holding E. The way you perform tap eating is hold E for your part, the holo parts, to get a size down, and then you just hold E again. You kind of just loop this over and over again. You can eat really fast this way, and yeah, let's see if an example will fall from the sky. See, I'm eating right now. This holo is coming to come eat my food, and tap eating, knock him back. You can just perform this over and over again, even on groups of many holos. So yeah. So not only is it faster, but you also get to defend yourself while getting a little bit of a health pack and some progression. Usually the holo stage without dying will take you around 10 to 15 minutes if you're going pretty hard on it. So I also want to talk about this spot right here. This spot I've found to be the best spot for grinding holos. The reason being is in this little corner right here, next to Lost No Chests, there's actually 3 holo spawns that are all right here, and they spawn pretty frequently, so you can get a lot of food here. As you eat as a base holo, you'll gain size, and you'll gain more damage, and you'll gain more health. So it makes it easier becoming a Menos. And becoming a Menos, there is a way to check if you're close. See, if you zoom in pretty close right here, you'll be able to see that my eyes aren't yellow like the other holos over here. My eyes have turned red because I'm getting to that part of my evolution where, you know, I'm just pretty close to evolving into a Menos. That's how you get to check if you're close. Zoom in to the point where you're a little bit invisible, and you can check your eye color. When your eyes turn red, it means you're pretty close to becoming a Menos. So yeah. I'll get into Menos in a second once I evolve. Another thing I want to talk about in regards to tap eating, it's easier to time tap eating if you look through your holo hole. When your left arm rises up to the middle of your hole, that means eating apart. So if you can do it really fast, then you'll just destroy a pile of holo food. Yeah. Realize that combo that I showed a little bit? Yeah, this is gonna happen. You know, sometimes holos will ping pong you, just because of how their NPC code is written. It's pretty one-to-one with Primera. Progression's mostly the same. You just kind of want to eat. Every stage you want to eat. Here we go, this is the Gillian expedition. And yeah. And this leads me into talking about Gillians a little bit. By the way, your Cero is going to be in your backpack. Always remember that. So yeah, Gillians are it's a pretty long, drawn-out process. Your goal is the same as, you know, a normal hollow. You know, you want to eat. You want to eat a lot, and it's going to take a lot of eating. I'm trying to figure out why, but I found that the time it takes to evolve into an Efugis kind of fluctuates. I became an Efugis in this game in about an hour and a half. That was my fastest time, and the longest it's taken me is about 4 hours. So I think definitely dying has a huge effect on your progression, and I'm also in the middle of testing out if there's actually an anti-boost when it comes to hollows. This is how you time tap eating on a Menos, by the way. You want to hold E until your arm starts going. Your right arm goes down your left arm. That's a good way to time it. Your M2 has a pretty big hitbox and does more damage than your M1. It also guard breaks, of course. Yeah. It's going to take you about 3 hours, maybe. I would say 3 hours. I became an Efugis about 4 times in this game so far. And I just want to talk about the time it'll take. I found the most success being a solo Menos, and especially just being in a small server like this. I never died, and I never used my Cero, which I want to talk about that. Menos Cero, it's been a rumor since forever ago that it takes your mass when you use it. In the original Bleach Primera, that was just a meme created by Par. In the original Bleach Primera, your Cero did not take XP from you. The origin of that meme was, you know, just like in this game, it was a rumor that your Menos Cero would take your mass. And basically what Par did to troll the community was he confirmed their suspicions, even though it really wasn't like that. So maybe they weren't in on it, and they made it like that in this game just to be one-to-one with Chimera. So yeah. Yeah. Another important thing to talk about is devolving as a Menos. When it comes to devolving, the way you devolve is dying many times. If you die a lot, you'll devolve back into a base hollow, and you'll have to become a Menos again. So yeah, it's very important not to die. As you can see, I'm in a very low server. It's just me and this one other guy. And this other guy is a hollow, and he's a player hollow over there, so I'm completely safe. There's no possible way I'm going to die, and my progression's going to get ruined. I think it's very important to stay on a small server, because you're pretty defenseless, especially in base hollow and Menos form. When you're in a Fujis, you can fight back. You fight back pretty good, you can, but you know, if a Soul Reaper comes and he decides, yeah, I'm gonna get me some Menos XP, he's going to get it. You're not gonna be able to do much to kill this Soul Reaper. So yeah, always play in small servers, because you're kind of dead if someone just wants to attack you. You know, spam Keto at you. For some reason, you can be stunned by M1s as a Menos. I think that's really stupid. How some ant sword can stun you by hitting your toes, but aside from that, yeah, you're basically just going to be at this for a little while. Right here you see just going back and forth, just eating hollow food over and over again. It's going to be about 2 or 3 hours of this, depending on if you die. So yeah, it's definitely the most boring stage of the game. It's cool being a Menos, don't get me wrong, but you're not really encouraged to be using your Cero. I'll show off the Cero one time just to just for the sake of showing it off. It actually has a big AoE when it collides with a wall. It cannot shoot through walls, but it shoots cross-map. My Cero would reach all the way over there to those mountains if I shot it straight forward. And it goes on about kind of like a 5-minute cooldown, I'd say, when after shooting it. So, yeah. That's also something. I also kind of want to talk about some glitches when it comes to this game. When I was recording, my animations were constantly breaking. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. Another thing is be wary of holding E to eat. Sometimes I've found myself holding E on top of some food, and I just would not eat anything. It wouldn't let me eat. That's why tap eating is still good, you know, because for one, your eating's going to get glitched, and you're just going to be standing over some food, and it's just, you're not going to be consuming it, which is pretty annoying. You'll catch yourself though. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about, let's see here. I think that's about it. But yeah. Let's talk about the Abuja stage, get some information about Vostal Lords and Arankars. But while we're still on the topic of Menos, you can press Ctrl M to become a Arankar. People will use terms such as Menoskar, Adjukar, Abujaskar, and Vostokar. These are just slang for the Arankar types. Do not take off your mask as a Menos. Menoskar are very shafted, they're very weak. They spawn in as rank 30. So yeah. In Primera, I don't know if that's how it is in this game, but Menoskar's health and Ryatsu is lower than, you know, what an Abuja's health and Ryatsu would be, and their res is weaker. So, seeing as how they would want to be very one-to-one with Primera, I think that's something that they would add in. So yeah, do not take off your mask as a Menoskar. You will spawn in as the lowest rank possible, and also, you'll have weak stats. So be careful about that. Alright, now getting into the Abuja stage, which I wish I could show it off. If I could become an Abuja right now, that'd be pretty great. But, you know, fantasy aside, Abuja is pretty cool. It's definitely what I've enjoyed the most about this game as I've been playing it, is being an Abuja holo. You get a very unique moveset that you can use very creatively. But I do want to say that fighting as an Abuja I don't recommend. I mean, you can definitely fight, I'd say rank 15 and above, and win constantly, or win confirmed, if you know what you're doing, but yeah, definitely watch out for higher rank Soul Reapers as an Abuja, because dying is very, very bad. Dying as an Abuja is very awful. And the reason for that, and what I'm going to talk about after that, is you can devolve. If you devolve as an Abuja, you can never become an Abuja again on that account. Your only options are to play on a new account, or you can buy the race swap Game Pass twice. So it'd be 200 Robux. So yeah, it's important not to die, and important not to devolve. And because it's important not to devolve, I want to urge you to eat as much as you can. You know, maybe take a 10-minute break of just eating, you know, after a death, because evolving, of course, you get locked from being a Fujis ever again. So, yeah, it's very important to eat. The food of players is going to be more fulfilling, especially the food of Menos and other Fujis. That's going to be kind of like your lifeline, is that kind of food. So be sure to always fill up on some good food. That way you don't devolve. And then I also want to talk about Vosto progression. Depending on if you want to go for it or not, Vosto Lord is it's pretty difficult to become in the current stage of the game, more difficult than it was in Primera, because as you can probably tell, the player base, especially the Hollow player base, is pretty small. You know, to become a Vosto Lord, you need to kill other Fujis any of them. So because of this, pretty much no one except exploiters were Vosto Lord. Because of just the sheer lack of Fujis. So hopefully this guide can kind of mitigate that and help people become Fujis. So yeah, I've only ever found a wild Fujis about, actually just one time. I've only found it Fujis one time that, you know, I didn't create or know myself. So yeah, it just kind of goes to show how rare they are to see, and how kind of impossible it is to get Vosto right now. I think they're in the works of changing the requirements. I don't know what the plans are for that, but it's going to be something coming soon, maybe. But yeah, I also want to say something about Vosto Lords. It's good to be a Vosto. You get 15 extra points when you become an Arrancar, but please take off your mask as soon as you become one, because if you die once as a Vosto Lord Hollow, you will devolve back into an Fujis and you can never become a Vosto Lord ever again. And I'm sure you wouldn't want that to happen after the huge grind you spent getting it, so be wary of that. And I also want, on the subject of Fujis, I want to talk about Fujis Arrancars. Fujis Arrancar will be your everyday run-of-the-mill Arrancar. You know, they spawn in as rank 20, so they get a bit of a head start over the Soul Reapers. You get a random resurrection, which, you know, there's a whole bunch of resurrection that, you know, I might get into when I make a video about Arrancars. So yeah, just your everyday, usual Arrancar type. You'll spawn in with 10 skill points, because you're a Fujis Gar. So yeah. Once again, I want to stress: don't take your mask off as a Menos, because you will fuck yourself over in the long run. And that's pretty much all I can really talk about in regarding Hollows. A little recap: remember to tap eat, defend your food, and stay in low servers. Alright, that's it. See ya.